Hey guys, welcome back to Tech News Day.
There's been a lot of turbulence lately for YouTube and YouTubers, with several major brands deciding to stop advertising on the platform after seeing evidence that their ads were running alongside content featuring racism, extremism, and other such undesirable topics. A lot of people seem to believe that since newspapers, aka the old media, were the ones who brought this issue to the attention of advertisers, this is all just a big smear campaign against the rise of new media by a bunch of old white men. We're not really on board with that theory though, because we've actually seen time and time again how broken YouTube is when it comes to managing any of its own content. There's just simply no way that YouTube can afford the manpower to accurately police which content gets paired with advertisements from big brands. So they've mainly just relied on algorithms to do that, and algorithms pretty much always do a shitty job.
But I trust it to drive me around in a car.
Yeah.
Anyway, since 2007, getting a YouTube channel monetized with pre-roll and overlay ads has been pretty damn easy. You just gotta sign up for the YouTube Partner Program, whose requirements are basically have a couple videos on your channel that aren't blatant copyright infringement. You check a box, your channel gets reviewed by someone or something at YouTube charged with the task, and then you're free to ship post away and rake in that YouTube money. Well, not anymore, kiddo. Rules have changed. This recent advertiser pullout is costing YouTube enough money to make them sweat, and they've reevaluated the risks and rewards of allowing just any old channel to run ads.
Last week, YouTube announced on its blog that moving forward, channels will only be eligible for the YouTube Partner Program and therefore ad monetization if the channel has at least 10,000 lifetime views. Which doesn't sound like a huge barrier to entry for fat cats like us, but it still accounts for a giant chunk of channels on YouTube that are currently allowed to monetize. Now, the logic here is pretty simple. Any channel with under 10,000 lifetime views is only earning pocket change at best from ads, so I mean, of course, for every dollar a creator makes, YouTube also makes a dollar. So for a long time, YouTube's logic here has been that with enough of these small channels earning pennies, YouTube makes a pretty nice chunk of change after all. If you have 1 million small channels each earning $1 a month, that's $1 million total per month for YouTube. So it adds up.
Anyways, that's just not worth it if one of those channels posts a video with a racist slur in the title and then gets screenshotted with a Coca-Cola ad and gets Coca-Cola to boycott the platform entirely. It doesn't matter to Coca-Cola that the video racked in a whopping 8 cents of revenue off of that Coke ad. They don't want any kind of association with it. This 10,000 view requirement, of course, doesn't completely fix the problem, but it does make enforcing advertiser standards a hell of a lot easier by shrinking the number of channels YouTube has to worry about. YouTube is sacrificing some ad revenue in an effort to ensure that there's any ad revenue at all.
Yeah. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, YouTube has expanded the amount of control and analytical data available to advertisers, which advertisers have been asking for a long time. It's pretty standard practice in advertising to be able to know where your ads are appearing, and you can choose to run your ads on specific content or not. Do it on content that you don't want to be associated with, but YouTube hasn't bothered to do that until now because there wasn't a fire under their ass to fix anything. This recent boycott wasn't just a response to some screenshots posted by the Wall Street Journal. It's been a long time coming. This was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing's been it's been so flooded for so long that even taking a portion of, like putting that little line that they have to cross there makes it smaller so everyone potentially could earn more money because brands feel a lot more confident.
Yeah, and it also prevents people like these like serial shit posters. They'll make a channel, make a couple bucks off it, get shut down, just make a new account.
Yeah, just
now it's
uploading movies.
A lot harder to do that.
In the meantime, though, there has been a lot of turbulence. Do the dance, the turbulence dance. In monetization on YouTube, with many creators complaining that their ad revenue has absolutely tanked over the past month. The exact reasons for this aren't totally clear, but our theory is that YouTube's testing out a bunch of new algorithmic changes all at once, and it's screwing a lot of people over. And not to sound dismissive of people's complaints, we do think that it won't be long until hopefully the tide settles and things get back to normal once YouTube convinces advertisers to trust their platform again. Hey, fingers crossed, because I think we said it last week, I think we lost probably 40 or 50% of our revenue over the past month or so.
Yeah.
Gonna shut down, guys. Can't stay afloat.
Pay up.
Anyways, we're actually pretty cynical about YouTube fixing anything, but they're losing a lot of money right now, and for the first time in years, they actually have to put some effort in. So it's
the difference between this and pretty much every other scandal on YouTube is that before they weren't losing money, they were just pissing off users.
Yeah.
Now they're actually losing money, so they actually have to do something
about it. Just like
when
the United stock price went down. The CEO's like, nah, and the guy was belligerent. And they're like, oh shit, we lost $250 million in market share.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry, and we're gonna be looking into it. You gotta hit them where it hurts, in the wallet, guys.
Yeah, hit them right there in the wallet.
Right in the kidney wallet.
Anyway, speaking of companies under pressure to perform, let's check in with a company that we've been following since its inception, Tidal Hi-Fi. The music streaming service recently celebrated its 2-year anniversary. Can you believe it? Can you believe it's been 2 years since that tone-deaf Illuminati ceremony featuring a bunch of oppressed millionaires signing the Declaration of Independence and sipping champagne? 2 years. Well, anyway, the whole selling point with Tidal was that unlike Spotify, Tidal was co-owned by a bunch of famous musicians, primarily Jay-Z, and that because of that, it would feature exclusive releases from all those artists, all available in lossless high fidelity, which is technically of a much higher quality than any other streaming service, but almost no one can actually tell the difference.
Yeah.
You say you can. I don't believe you.
Don't get into an argument with them about it because you can't get inside someone's head and they're gonna tell you how they can hear the difference. Anyways, despite attracting new users with a few big exclusives from people like Beyonce and Kanye West, Tidal hasn't really managed to make a dent in the competition. So this past weekend, they released their hottest exclusive yet. Jay-Z's entire back catalog.
Woo! It's like 10 Jay-Z albums.
Yeah, I mean, it's not new music. Wait, was the Linkin Park crossover on there? Collision Course?
I don't know.
Because that's the only one
kind of essential.
Yeah, no, I like more than that, but it's a good album. Sure, it's not new music, and sure, it's only exclusive because it's no longer on Spotify and Apple Music and Google Music, but there's probably a few Jay-Z fans out there that are willing to switch over to Tidal due to Jay's act of desperation. And update, by the way, coming in fast, Jay's already back on Apple Music, aside from the 3 Blueprint albums and his debut record, Reasonable Doubt.
I need the Blueprint albums.
What the hell is going on here? And where can I find Collision Course, the Linkin Park Jay-Z album that means so much to me?
Well, I don't know anything about the Jay-Z Collision Course. That one's up in the air right now. But this all might have something to do with the fact that Universal Music Group, which Jay-Z's albums are a part of, recently signed a new deal with Spotify. A part of that deal was a whole new set of conditions allowing Universal to restrict certain new releases from being available for the free users. You gotta be a paying customer to get these new albums.
Yeah.
Presumably, Jay-Z has enough pull at Universal to make some of his own little demands as part of the deal, and maybe they just didn't reach an agreement with Spotify over that, so no Jay-Z on Spotify. This still doesn't really explain the brief absence from Apple and then the continuing absence from Google Music.
They were like, we can just sneak this by and no one will notice.
Yeah, in any case, to the public, it just comes off as a desperate move that probably won't help Tidal a whole lot.
Although it did get them back, I completely had forgotten about Tidal entirely.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the Jay-Z Linkin Park collaboration.
How could you forget?
Yeah, maybe this was just to remind everyone, hey, Jay-Z's made a lot of great music.
Yeah, including the one
I really wish I could listen to it right now. Fuck!
Yeah.
Guess I'm signing up for
Collision Course. Moving on to our other favorite troubled business, Uber. First off, they've been banned from the entire country of Italy for what Italian authorities call unfair competition, but that's all pretty standard for Uber, who's since its inception been banned and later unbanned in various jurisdictions all over the world. But there's also a quick update to that big lawsuit between Uber and Google's autonomous car company, Waymo. As you'll recall, Waymo is accusing one of its former engineers of stealing a bunch of Waymo documents, poaching Waymo employees, and running a separate autonomous car tech company while employed at Waymo, then leaving to start another autonomous car company who was then purchased by Uber.
So the latest is that Uber's defense against allegations that they're basically using stolen Waymo tech is just admitting in court that their self-driving cars suck. And therefore, they couldn't have stolen any of the tech from Waymo's far superior product.
It flipped over. Didn't you see the news article?
Our cars are shit!
Yeah, they're garbage.
They barely fucking work. If
Yeah.
we had stolen Google's tech, they'd be actually driving 1 mile without breaking down.
Yeah.
They admitted that the LiDAR system, the sensor system that is in their self-driving cars is just bought directly from a manufacturer without modifications because their in-house custom LiDAR system isn't ready to actually be tested on the road yet.
Yeah.
So anyway, the case goes to trial on May 3rd, less than a month away, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. This is juicy.
Yeah.
This will be just like when Palmer Luckey and Mr. Facebook had to do that lawsuit against ZeniMax with VR and John Carmack admitting he's a fucking idiot.
He'll always have that Time magazine cover. And those cool shirts from Trader Joe's. But anyways, now it's time for a word from this week's sponsoring advertiser, HostGator. If you're looking into building your own website, HostGator has all the tools you'll need to build it and host it. Their drag and drop website builder and mobile-friendly templates make it easy to create a great-looking website fast. HostGator doesn't cap the amount or size of files directly pertaining to your website, and you can even create as many email addresses and forwards as you need. Get that custom email.
They've also got 24/7, 365 support available to assist you via live chat or email anytime you've got questions. And they give you a nice little jump start for advertising with $100 worth of credits in Google AdWords. And if you give it a shot and you're not completely satisfied, simply cancel within 45 days for a full refund. So, for a website that you'll love as much as your small business, go to hostgator.com/TechTuesday to sign up. Using that URL will get you 60% off. But hurry, because this is a limited time promotion. Discount applies for first term only. Again, that's hostgator.com/TechTuesday.
But now it's time to get Phil in here to fill you in with a couple rap facts about tech this week. What do you got, Phil?
So who are you guys following on Twitter? Do you follow Trump? Or do you guys follow all those rogue government Twitter accounts popping up since he took office? You know, like the ones that everyone's always talking about are rogue POTUS staff or rogue EPA. He was mad at that one. And then there's like alt immigration, which is sort of like, I don't know, who cares? He's anonymous, and I'll say it again with big air quotes. Rogue Twitter accounts are supposedly run by these disgruntled resistance fighters who work for the government but are super upset with Trump and his behavior and policies. So let's skip over the fact that we can't confirm that these are, one, in fact, actual government employees going rogue, like Sarah Palin going rogue, or that, two, these accounts might just be fake. But the Trump administration has taken a huge interest in alt immigration. So much so that the US Customs and Border Protection tried to unmask the owner of the Twitter account alt_USCIS. So that sounds really boring on the surface, but it's pretty fucking scary. Think about it. An anonymous Twitter account is critical of the government, so the government tries to find out who's running that account. Kind of like Russia would. Kind of like North Korea would. Kind of like a creepy place. I mean, this is America, and this is super against the free speech that Americans are always bragging about, like it's new kind of CrossFit. Like, you do CrossFit, I do CrossFit. You got free speech, I got free speech. So on April 2nd, Twitter was like, hey, fuck that noise, and sued the Department of Homeland Security and said, sure, we got the IP addresses and phone numbers and names for this account, but no, you can't have them. And I will say, as your resident crazy person, in 2017, it's kind of refreshing to see a large company fight for their customers' privacy when it comes to the point where the government's asking them to turn it over. The big boys like Google and Microsoft kind of have a checkered past when it comes to your data and giving it to the government, so bravo, Twitter, you did good this time. Personally, I love Twitter. It's kind of my personal shitposting playground where I get to make jokes with you fine people and follow some friends and make jokes with them, but it's also one of the biggest media outlets of our 45th president of the United States. That's Trump, if you didn't know that. So the guy before him, this guy Barack Obama, he would like tweet once in a while, but not quite to the level that Trump would, and this is kind of the Wild West where one of the most powerful men in the world is firing off potentially war-starting tweets at 3 a.m. from the toilet. All right, allegedly from the toilet, but I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting on the toilet and you're like, hey, let me ruin the planet. And so Twitter, a company that's been struggling to make money and has watched their stock price fall for the past few years, has kind of had to play hall monitor these conversations between Trump and President of Mexico and the world and everybody. A lot of people were calling for Trump to be banned from Twitter because some of the things he said could be construed as hateful or bullying or whatever you gotta do to get banned from Twitter. I mean, Twitter did ban Milo over something similar, so there's a precedent set. And honestly, I don't give a shit in the comments about whether Trump or Milo should be banned. If you wanna have that argument, I think Shibby's on the roof and he's drunk and he's a megaphone. He's going like, but Shibby, so he'll talk to you. But I'm trying to focus on the fact that Trump is keeping Twitter extremely relevant right now. Every time Trump does something, fucking anything on Twitter, the news says Trump tweeted. And that reaffirms Twitter's brand and iconic 140 character limit. But right now, Twitter has what you would call a conflict of interest. How in the fuck of all that loves money could they ban Trump? His personal account has almost 28 million followers and is the 43rd most followed account on the planet. Plus, dude's got like 16 million other followers at the POTUS handle, so you push them together and he's well over 40 million. And if he does either thing on either of those, the news is basically giving a free commercial to Twitter. So, on one hand, Twitter standing up to the government is a good thing. Now, on the other hand, they provide a, let's call it what it is, a media outlet for the president. So they've been doing an okay job of remaining neutral in this awkward situation they're in. But until you look at what Twitter Japan is doing, they're using Trump for their ads. So the very man whose administration they defy on US soil they're using his fat face, allegedly fat, to promote their brand in Tokyo. In case you're wondering what the ad says, it translates to, "There is now you do not know." I'm assuming something got lost in translation. If not, they got some balls putting like some deep-ass Jaden Smith level wisdom up there. So, a Twitter spokesperson said the ad campaign is Japan-specific, which no shit. The mixed messages in this confusing soap opera, here's your too long didn't read. Twitter's a company that's struggling to find a singular point of view in this crazy world. Are they champions of privacy that defy government bullying and got your back? Or are they spineless shills who promote a controversial figure, but only overseas where it's safe from people who'd crucify them on their own platform? Either way, I just hope they stick around for a while so I can continue to make dick jokes and post my horrific homemade memes. And that's a hashtag rat fact. Because we were talking about Twitter. That's how you tell people what you're talking about. Rat fact!
Thank you, Phil, for your exceptional work. The Pulitzer is in the mail. Anyway, we've got a few little tech stories to leave you with this week, starting with the latest from Ford. The 114-year-old automaker recently got a humbling taste of the future when 21st century electric car company Tesla surpassed both Ford and General Motors as the most valuable car company in America. Wow. Of course, a company's value to investors is based more on expectation of success rather than actual success, but it's gotta sting a little bit. So how does Ford come back from this?
Well, probably by continuing to offer more electric and hybrid car options to customers, but also by thinking outside the box. Ask yourself, what's something that Tesla doesn't make? If you answered baby beds, you are correct. Ford recently unveiled the Max Motor Dreams, a bed for babies, designed to make them go the fuck to sleep by replicating one of the oldest tricks in the book, taking the kid for a late night car ride around the neighborhood.
No, the crib doesn't actually drive the kid around the neighborhood like some sort of self-driving nanny, although it could one day.
Someday.
But it does simulate the car ride experience via subtle vibrations, sounds, and lights because babies are stupid and they can't tell the difference. That is seamless.
Yeah.
We're both child-free man-children, so we can't vouch for this concept too much, although I would love to sit in one on my own.
A man
rock me
bed.
to sleep.
I fall asleep in cars still.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go away.
Based on our experiences as former babies, it sounds pretty effective.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to try it, give it a shot as a full-size bed. Unfortunately, the Max Motor Dreams is merely a one-off concept meant to gauge interest, so it's not actually available to buy yet. Though Ford says they're already receiving enough interest to actually consider putting it on the old production line.
This is how you beat Tesla.
Yeah, with baby beds.
America doesn't want to go into space. We want baby beds that put our babies to sleep.
Yeah, constantly.
And then we want adult beds that put our adults to sleep.
And then just make a house that just rocks like that the whole time.
And coffins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to just be lulled to sleep.
Bury me in my Ford.
Yeah.
Moving over to hacking news, last week the city of Dallas fell victim to a very annoying sounding security breach that made all of the city's 156 emergency tornado sirens blare uninterrupted for around 90 straight minutes in the middle of the night. And this of course caused some mild hysteria and plenty of calls to local law enforcement and emergency lines wondering what the fuck was going on.
Quick story, in San Francisco they were testing like the emergency sirens for, I think,
Like
tsunamis and stuff.
and earthquakes.
And I was just down near the piers, and it went off.
What is happening?
It was the scariest minute of my entire life. I was like, looking around like,
There's a kaiju rising
I
out of the
thought
water.
a bomb was about to hit the city. I was like, are we under nuclear attack? Nuclear attack. It was fucking terrifying. So I can imagine what these people were going through. Although I had never experienced it before, so if I had known that tests happened every once in a while.
I didn't know that. I've been to San Francisco a lot and I've never experienced. I would freak out
At least
too.
with this, if you know that it's a tornado siren and you go outside and it's not windy, it's like, wow, either I'm in the middle of it, or
I'm in the eye of the tornado. It's fun.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
authorities they say that they're pretty sure the alarms were triggered by someone outside their system, aka a hacker. So this is yet another example of how companies and local governments need to give more of a shit about cybersecurity. This seems to just have been for the lulz. But someone with this level of access could just as easily prevent the sirens from going off during an actual tornado scare, which would put people's lives at risk.
Yeah. Fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of hackers, let's talk about Russia. Not Russian hackers, though. Just the surprising fact that everyone's favorite early 2000s teen blogging platform, LiveJournal, is apparently a Russian company and has been for the last 10 years.
There you go.
The only reason I'm even aware of this right now is because now that they've finally moved all of their servers over to Russia, they've changed their terms of service, requiring all content posted to LiveJournal to abide by the laws of the Russian Federation.
Now that sounds like a pretty standard procedure, but in this case means that any violation of Russia's extremely vague laws on political solicitation can result in consequences for the user. That includes criticism of the Russian government and anything that can be seen as pro-LGBTQ rights. Then, of course, there's the fact that the data privacy in Russia is a lot more loose than it is everywhere else, with even one of LiveJournal's early Russian advisors saying LiveJournal's servers have moved closer not to its authors and readers, but to those who want to monitor them. It's all pretty scary if anyone still uses LiveJournal.
The good news, though, is that you either don't even know what the hell LiveJournal is, or you've long ago switched over to services like Tumblr and Blogger.
Or HostGator.
Yeah. The one exception, though, seems to be Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin, who does all of his blogging through LiveJournal for some reason.
Oh, they're gonna leak that new Game of Thrones.
Hopefully he's not storing any drafts of his upcoming book, The Winds of Winter, on LiveJournal servers, because election interference is one thing. It's bad, but stealing the most anticipated book on Earth, that would be truly egregious.
I mean,
get out of there, George.
Sure. But one last thing, you've most likely seen the sorts of images to come out of machine learning computer programs like Google's Deep Dream, where the AI looks at a picture, tries to figure out what it's looking at, and then enhances the image to look more like what it thinks it's seeing. Generally, it turns everything into dogs and birds, and it gets pretty trippy. Do some drugs and try it. Well, an artist and engineer named Alexander Reben has taken that technology and used it to convert the soothing calmness of Bob Ross into pure nightmare fuel.
Yeah, and it's not just the imagery either. Go find the video link in the description. Actually watch it with the sound on, because there's a similar weird AI technique being used for the audio as well, with Bob Ross's voice being replaced by utter nonsense that's still technically his voice and matches the pacing and tone of the original audio, but it's just creepy and weird.
We still have a couple days before 420. We should upload a Bob Ross video that stoners would watch, like best of Bob Ross calming soothing, and then it slowly like fades into this nightmare one where
he
there's
turns into the devil.
Oh!
Yeah.
This devil's lettuce sure has taken me for a ride.
Anyway, sleep tight, kids.
Yeah, that's it for this week's Tech News Day. Thanks again to this week's sponsoring advertiser, HostGator, for advertising on this show. As we said in the beginning, YouTube not really coming through anymore. Thank you, HostGator. Whether you're a small business or a first-time blogger, get off LiveJournal. HostGator has all the tools you'll need to build and host your website all in one place. Their drag-and-drop website builder makes it easy to create a great-looking website fast, and HostGator's 24/7 support is always available to assist you via live chat or email anytime you have a question. So head to HostGator.com/TechTuesday to sign up and get 60% off. But hurry, this is a limited time promotion. Discount applies to the first term only. Yeah, watch our podcast with Scott Mans. He'll teach you how to be the most positive man in the movie industry.
Say it!
Say it! And then check out an episode that we did about, we covered the
that
United
poor
stuff,
man.
But they're dragging this guy through the dirt. They're dragging him off the airplane, into the dirt.
All he wanted
Into
was
the public.
to go to Louisville and be a doctor.
Yeah.
But no.
See you next time.
See ya.